was watching a great show on that goddamn North Hollywood shootout years ago.
Oh yeah, the bank robbers, right?
Yeah,
they were armed to the hilt.
Oh, they had body armor on and AK-47s with giant rotary clips and just they had so much ammo, and they outgunned the LAPD
for a while.
Just outgunned them for a while till SWAT showed up, and the cops actually had to go to a local gun store to get guns to compete against these guys because they had their 9mm pistols and shotguns. But these guys, there's video of it. It went on for like 45 minutes of them being shot at, and they get thrown back a little bit, and then they just keep walking. They were like robots.
Yeah, you know what that was, right?
Oh, what?
Grand Theft Auto.
It was, yeah. Grand Theft Auto. Oh.
We've all done that scenario with that game. I want to see how long I can last.
Yeah, let me see how long I can
got all my weapons and flamethrowers, and I got all sorts of protection. And then you always lose when you see the ropes coming, and they're coming
they
from
start rappelling down on you.
From helicopters,
over Johnny.
But it was pretty much that same scenario.
You know, it's great when they take, because that's, an old story. But these shows on History Channel and Discovery and whatnot, they update it with like computer graphics. So they were able to show you some of what went on. And then they really get in depth by putting a computer graphic of the entire area and showing where the gunmen were at any given moment, and the cops, and this line of fire, and who was taking cover where. They give you so much more of an in-depth description of things that went on even years ago now, where they're able to use computers.
That was about 10 years ago, right?
97, yeah.
97?
Were they walking together?
Yeah, not the whole time. They were near each other, but one would be like by the bank door while the other one's on the corner. They went behind the bank at one point. They were just trying to kill as many cops and civilians as they could. They were shooting at anybody that they saw.
Civilians too, huh?
Yeah, civilians were getting shot. There was one point where a bunch of detectives, and all they had were their 9mm, their pistols and shotguns. So they couldn't get close enough to these guys to do any damage. And a bunch of detectives lined up behind this big cinder block wall and just opened up on one of the guys. And the guy turns around and fires his AK-47, which goes right through the cinder block wall. And these cops are getting hit by cement and bullets and everything else. Another cop got hit, two of them got hit in the leg right through the femur bone. And they were sitting there, and you just hear the 911 calls. They're going, I'm passing out. You got to send some help. And they were talking with the 911 dispatchers, saying that they were just freaking out. They were asking if this was the same officer down call. They go, is this one officer? And another one that had just gotten hit goes, no, it's not one officer. And then they started realizing that this was, multiple officers just calling and going, I'm shot, officer down, needs assistance. They're trying to drag themselves away from certain situations. Other cops that were amazing came up with their patrol cars, which these guns that they had, the bullets were going right through them. And were pulling some of these cops that were down out of the line of fire as they were being shot at. Those guys must have gotten a couple of medals.
Was it called Shootout?
But, yeah, the show's called Shootout.
On YouTube in 4 parts.
It was,
YouTube?
Oh, cool.
Yeah, you can check it out on YouTube.
You can check it out there, but it's on History Channel.
What was the final tally? How many cops
what was that?
Did we lose?
No one died.
No one, amazingly.
No one died.
Amazingly.
Only the suspects died.
Yeah.
And 15 people were hit, 10 police officers among the injured.
And they expected to get away with this? Okay, so they robbed the bank, then what?
Yeah, they robbed the bank.
Eventually, there would be nowhere to hide.
The cops disabled the escape vehicle,
right?
The getaway car. They shot out the tires and everything, and it was still able to move, though, because at one point, one of the guys gets in and starts driving real slow while the other guy's using it as cover, and he's shooting up, whatever's
more
moving.
Stuff, yeah.
And then they point out that one guy just abandoned the money bag. And at that moment, they said, okay, these guys are just in it now to just kill people. And they nailed one guy. They were not sure if they actually shot him first through the spine. They got him, and he might have misfired his gun when he went to load his pistol and shot himself in the head, or it was a suicide that he said, I'm done, and just shot himself in the head. They got all this on great helicopter video.
Oh, yeah.
And then the other guy, he tried to carjack a pickup truck, threw all his weapons in this truck, and then realized the guy that ran out of the truck took his keys with him. So he's kind of standing there like, ah. So now these cops SWAT team comes pulling up to the truck thinking they're going to save this driver who's already gone, and now the bad guy's in the truck, so they don't know. So they pull right up next to it, and the guy just opens fire on the cop car.
But he had nowhere to go.
Yeah. So the cops got out, took cover behind the car, got low. I think they took his ankles out, and once he fell, they just started shooting him up, and I think he died before the ambulance even got there. But 45 minutes of a war zone. There was something like, at the end of it, 300 police officers responding to these two guys. If you get a chance to see it, they really get into it. So it's cool, and they have actual video.
That's real video, or
and
reenactments?
A few recreations,
reenactments.
But the real video they have a lot of.
I remember that. It really was like something out of a film. I mean, and it's amazing that nobody died, so you can actually watch it and enjoy it. No, you're not watching a bunch of cops get killed.
Just the bad guys getting it. But the way the cops talk about it, they talk about it like they were in a war. The sound of the AK-47s, how loud they are, the fact that the bullets were going everywhere, and these guys, no cops were killed.
It's called Shootout.
Shootout.
You can find it on YouTube. Amazing.
Yeah.
So the bank alarm went off, I guess. Just they probably
whoopsie.
They timed it out wrong.
Yeah, they certainly did.
Couple one of the guys?
Yeah. They were the guys.
The one didn't look that scary.
Baby face.
He
yeah,
sure
I know.
did.
They were wearing body armor that just
made them look like
badasses. They were being hit. You could see the shots hitting these guys, and they're still walking. They had to actually lean a little forward because the bullets were pushing them backwards.
Really?
Yeah, it was insane. It's really a great show. That History Channel, man, I cannot turn it off. See, now they go to these computer kind of a graphic of the whole area,
and they're showing you,
and it gives you an idea of where these guys are, what they were doing at the time. The shotguns were ineffective against these the body armor these guys had. They had full leg body armor.
What kind of head stuff do they have?
All you could really see was they were wearing ski masks. And you'd think, a well-placed headshot. I guess it's pretty difficult when a guy is rattling off an AK-47.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard to shoot him in the head because these guys had to keep their distance. They couldn't get really close to these two bad guys.
Hey, is it true? Did they say this in the documentary or whatever? Reed from Birmingham. The family of the second guy sued the police because they claim that they didn't call the ambulance soon enough. The guy laid there in the street for like an hour before it came.
They said he died before the ambulance arrived,
and the family decided to sue, saying, "Look, you should have got the ambulance.
He
there.
should have gotten an ambulance there. Get out of here."
That's what someone's saying. I wonder if that's true. Also, Bruce in Louisiana has a little something on this. Bruce.
Morning, gentlemen. Merry Christmas.
Hey, man.
The thing also said that they caught those two guys. They picked them up a couple of months before the actual robbery in a car loaded with guns, ammunition, magazines, high-capacity magazines. Couldn't make any of the charges stick, so they let them go. They proceeded to go home, make their own body armor, sew it together so there was no seams to shoot between. Like, police body armor has, the arms.
Yeah, you can get through the side or, things like that.
Right. They sewed their own body armor together so you couldn't even shoot them between, like, the armpit, which is a weak spot in police body armor. They go out and let them go and give them their guns back.
Wow.
Were they registered guns, though?
No, yeah, they had AK-47s, thousands of rounds of ammunition, 20 to 30 high-capacity magazines in the trunk of this car, but they couldn't actually make any charge that, I guess, fit what they were doing because they weren't doing anything. They just got pulled over on a routine stop or something, searched it, and it's not actually illegal to have a gun in your trunk.
Yeah.
So they had to actually give them all their guns back and let them go. If you watch that Shootout documentary on History Channel, I've got it on my DVR. I love it.
Cool.
It actually tells that. And they had
I missed the very beginning.
It's awesome.
Know what's strange? All this for $30.
What?
$30 lousy dollars.
That was it, huh?
Yeah, they robbed the bank for $30 lousy dollars.
$30.
Unbelievable to me. Yes, Dunpray.
The family of one of the guys did, in fact, sue the city, saying that they let him bleed to death in the streets. The first trial ended in a mistrial, and then they agreed to eventually drop it.
Yeah.
How does it end in a mistrial?
I think you just dropped that.
Just cut your losses. You raised the bed, dude.
Oh, it's amazing.
All right, man. Let's go to Boston. Adam, how are you?
Good evening.
Good evening, Adam.
Real quick, guys. I don't know, Ant, if you noticed, like they were talking about how these guys were all jacked up on meds too. So even if they took around, they wouldn't really feel like the pain, and they wouldn't bleed quickly and stuff, like blood thickeners or whatever it was. They were really clever with this whole thing.
They went all out. Yeah, because I know the second guy that died, he was hit first in the ankle or lower leg because he was limping around for a little while as he was shooting. One cop with a vest actually jumped on top of some of these detectives that didn't have any body armor, and right after he did that, got shot 3 times in the back.
Oh my God!
Went through the vest, and he was injured but not killed.
Wow.
And after that, he got up and still fought these guys.
Amazing.
He said a lot of the cops said the adrenaline, because a lot of them were hit in the ankles because they were using the cars. A lot of them were using cars as cover, so they were hitting the ankles and the arms. And a lot of the cops are saying from the adrenaline, they just kept fighting. They kept shooting. They didn't feel any pain or anything until later. It's weird what happens when you're in that situation, I guess.
Let's go to Scott in New York. Scott.
Hey, boys. Hey, Anthony, did you see on the documentary before they left for the bank, they watched Heat, that big shootout scene?
Oh, did they?
Is that true?
Another thing? Yeah, I got to catch the beginning of it. I missed the beginning. When I saw it was on, I was like, oh, yeah, that's the cop that gets shot in the back.
Yep.
Wow.
All right. It's called Shootout. It's on the History Channel.
It is creepy with the 911
also on YouTube.
calls. They have all the real 911 calls, the radio calls of these guys just screaming for help after they're shot. You know, in the movies, you see it's like, hey, officer down, officer down. These guys are screaming.
It's worth a peek, that's for sure.
Yeah.